3 weeks down in the college football season in 2024, including week 0, 2 full Saturdays of the entire country getting involved, also in the book. So now that we enter week number 3, midway through September, where are the odds in college football in the chase for a national championship? Georgia, the preseason favorite. They've seen their price shorten exactly by 10 cents. Plus 280 before the year got started, now plus 270. Ohio State had the second best price, still the same case at plus 350. But Texas has moved forward at a plus 550 number, third best number around the country. Part of that is the Longhorns' dominance in Ann Arbor on Saturday afternoon. Part of it is Oregon struggling to start this year. The Ducks now tied for the fourth best price alongside Alabama at 11-1. Joe, we'll look at Georgia and Ohio State, who have been pretty good this year. Georgia, a test on paper against Clemson, and ran them out the building in Atlanta week number 1. But let's start with the two biggest movers. Texas moving forward, Oregon moving back. How much are you buying into Texas after what they did to the reigning national champs in Michigan on Saturday in the Big House?
Well, I mean, listen, we knew the talent was there offensively. I think what we're underestimating with Texas and what people need to realize is that's a real defense, Ben. That to go there and to do what they did, and I don't care that it's rebuilding and make up whatever excuses you want for the offense of Michigan. It is never easy going on the road. You know what wins on the road? Great defenses. And that defense showed up and showed out. And I don't think we give them enough credit because of who the coach is and Sark and what they do offensively with Quinn Ewers and others. But the reality is, if Texas is going to make a run at this, it's going to be the defense that's going to be a much bigger catalyst in it than it's necessarily going to be the offense, because that defense is going to have to win them some games, tough games coming up on this schedule, and I think they can.
When you really look at what Texas did on Saturday, what impressed me the most was not Quinn Ewers in the offense with all the tools at his disposal. It was that defense for the Longhorns. Fourth best rushing defense in the country, allowing less than 81 yards per game a season ago. But part of that was the two NFL draft picks they had in the middle, Byron Murphy, T'Vondre Sweat. And both of those guys gone to the National Football League. How would they replicate that success in the interior against a Michigan team that the entire handicap for a lot of people, Joe, was could Michigan slow down the game, keep it under 41.5, use that downhill rushing attack that had been the staple of Sharon Moore offenses. Because he is now the head coach, we almost forget he was the offensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh and the O-line coach that put together great and dominant offensive lines that over the past 3 years that resulted in 3 consecutive Big Ten titles, college football playoff berths, and of course last year a national championship, took it to teams, bullied teams. The idea was, could Texas answer the call? Not only did they answer, they brought the fight to Michigan. They held the Wolverines to 3.6 yards per carry, only 82 yards on the ground. That Texas defense is the difference. So now that brings us to Oregon. The Ducks on paper should have got this year started in flying colors. FCS foe in Idaho inside Autzen Stadium score 70. They scored 24, winning by 10, only having a 3 lead early in the fourth quarter, coming nowhere close to covering as a 7-touchdown favorite. All right, odds makers expected the resilience of Dan Lanning in the Ducks. Week number 2 in Eugene against the reigning Mountain West champs in Boise State. A Boise State team that allowed a lot of points against Georgia Southern in the opener. Could they even keep it closer than 3 touchdowns? The odds makers in the betting public expected Oregon to win comfortably. Oregon needed a walk-off field goal as time expired to win 37-34, and Ashton Jeanty is still running up and down the sidelines inside Autzen. Joe, what is your concern level for this Oregon team that entered the Big Ten with the second best price to win the conference and had the third best number to reach the college football playoff, only behind the Buckeyes and the Georgia Bulldogs?
So where we were wrong with Oregon was not from a talent perspective, right? I think what we did not see coming was how not good they are in the trenches here, Ben.
Yeah.
We're talking, they're not good on third down. They're not good in the red zone. Dylan Gabriel has been pressured on almost 30% of his dropbacks. And when you look at who they've played, you better fix that in a hurry before you get to Big Ten play. But I'll tell you this, the schedule is favorable to them because they don't play USC. They don't play Penn State. They will be double-digit favorites in just about every game except for Ohio State and at Michigan. But quite honestly, I don't think Michigan can score on any quality team, including Oregon here.
Right.
So they are going to be double-digit favorites throughout the way except for that Ohio State game. They have to figure out what's going on the offensive line. They better figure that out in a hurry. Otherwise, they're going to get caught in Big Ten play.
Oregon in 2023 allowed 5 sacks. It was the fewest amount, unsurprisingly, at the FBS level. Only Liberty, who allowed 9 sacks. Those were the 2 programs that allowed less than double digits. Oregon allowed 5 sacks in all of 2023. That includes the Pac-12 title game. That includes the New Year's Six Bowl when they ran Liberty out of the ballpark, of course, as well. They have given up 7 sacks already in their first 2 games of 2024. 3 to Idaho, 4 last week against Boise State. And they've been getting gashed on the ground. Ashton Jeanty over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns against Oregon on Saturday, where you thought the Michigan State transfer, Derek Harmon, Mateo Uiagalelei, that's DJU's younger brother, would anchor that D-line. It has been anything but. So how about a road trip to Corvallis to figure it out in the renewal of the Civil War against the spurned Oregon State Beavers? The Ducks, a 16.5-point favorite up in Corvallis, which is a house of horrors for many a team trying to win a football game outright. Plenty more in college football, including the Heisman Trophy race next. Let's continue to look at the national championship odds, the tier of 3 at the top, and everybody else that rounds out the top 10. Our reactions from the first 3 weeks, but the first 2 full weeks in college football. Again, Joe, the tier of 3 at the top. We've got 3 teams with a 3-digit price at less than 11 to 1. And Texas is half the next closest teams in Alabama and Oregon at an 11 to 1 price. You see, Texas now in the AP poll has vaulted past Ohio State based on the impressive performance in Ann Arbor. But the Buckeyes still a better national championship price and the best price of all 3 of these teams to reach the college football playoff. All 3 at least a $6 odds on favorite to get to the CFP. Will all 3 be in the college football playoff at the end of the season?
It's going to be very hard not to see at least those 3 at the top end. Outside of maybe somebody playing spoiler in there, but we all know what happens with Ohio State, right? It ultimately always comes down to Michigan, and I don't think they have to worry about beating Michigan this year. The only wild card in that Big Ten to me, Ben, is, and I'm shocked that nobody paid attention to him early, but they're paying attention to him now. And it's that little team on the bottom that you may call USC and Lincoln Riley. All of a sudden, now people are paying attention to Lincoln Riley and USC. Kind of absolutely crazy, isn't it, that it took this long for people to realize that Lincoln Riley's offenses can beat anybody, anywhere, anytime, in any conference? We're going to see if they're as good as we think they are soon.
8 years for Lincoln Riley as a head coach at the FBS level, 6 in Oklahoma, 2 now at USC completed. This is year number 3, but all 8 seasons, his offenses have been top 10 in the country, 6 of the 8 years inside the top 5. And they pitched their first shutout against Utah State late on Saturday night inside Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for the first time since 2011. That's the key for me when it comes to USC. Now let's go to the individual race that is the Heisman Trophy odds. We have a new favorite, Quinn Ewers. His price slashed in half and then some. 11-1 entering week number 2, now 5-1. 246 yards, 3 touchdown tosses against the Maize in blue. He has stepped up in every significant game that Texas has played. Last year, Joe, 5 ranked opponents Quinn Ewers faced for Texas, threw for at least 317 yards, averaging 352 in those games, 10 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Not 315 plus against Michigan, but against a really good secondary, getting close to 250 is a testament. And did not turn the football over. Clean football, 3 touchdowns. Is Quinn Ewers deserving, in your estimation, of being the Heisman Trophy frontrunner?
Yes, he can, but he's not going to win it.
Okay.
But he can certainly go up there. If you want to make money in the Heisman market, get your money on Cam Ward now before it's too late, before it's not going to be worth betting him anytime. I mean, listen, Quinn Ewers, outstanding stuff, but we always seem to know with a Sark team in Texas, something is going to go wrong at some point. It usually does. But Cam Ward there in second spot, to me, is the guy that should be your front runner there, given the fact that the state of the ACC and how this lines up for Miami and the schedule and what they've got going. This is going to be a top 3 or 4 seed in the college football playoff, provided they understand clock management and Mario Cristobal doesn't get in the way. Otherwise, Cam Ward is going to cement himself, I think, in a couple of weeks as the favorite to win the Heisman.
Always a difficult thing for Mario Cristobal, for this Hurricanes program that was 12-13 in his first 2 years. But now with how the ACC is playing out and how impressive they looked in the Swamp, they are the favorites at plus 115 to win the ACC. Cam Ward did back up his 385 and 3 touchdown performance against Florida with more than 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, in his first rushing score of the year for 4 total TDs against the best team from Tallahassee. That's Florida A&M on Saturday. Quinn Ewers has been really good. The statistical numbers are not overwhelming so far. Didn't have to do much against Colorado State. Texas has played 2 FBS foes to start this year, but he has been good in terms of those numbers. And what stands out to me is the 5-1 price to win the Heisman Trophy is actually shorter than Texas's number to win the national championship at plus 550. The name to know, though, of the Heisman Trophy odds, it's Ashton Jeanty, 28-1. The Heisman Trophy winner through 2 weeks of this college football season. Hour 3, our third and final, comes your way up next.